Hello there, everyone. My name is Oversoul. This is Oversoul Gaming, and welcome back to Alan Wake 2. And now, the Lake House DLC is officially out. Came out yesterday at the time of recording this. I've already played through it once on me lonesome by myself and enjoyed it very much. So now I'm going to play it again for you, the audience. Yes, this will be a replay of the Lake House DLC. Let's begin, shall we? So this takes place the events of this take place before the events of Alan Wake 2. This is what happened at the lake house before, like when Estevez first got to to Bright Falls. Oh shit, this is a cutscene. Okay.
This isn't the Bureau's first time in Bright Falls.
I should probably point out though before we start, Estevez. This is the framing device of this DLC is that Estevez is telling this story to Saga. Apparently, the Night Springs DLC and Lake House DLC have been seamlessly implemented into the main game, so that when you're playing, if you start a new game, you can actually start these DLCs from within the game itself. As you saw, I started it from the expansions section on the main menu, but I guess in the Dark Place, you can do the Night Springs DLC on different TVs in the main game, and this DLC apparently comes into play when Saga meets Estevez, and you're at the police station getting ready to move on and take on Scratch. Um, you're at the police station. You can talk to her about what happened at the lake house, and she'll tell you the story, and that's how this DLC starts. So, assumingly, this took place before the events of Alan Wake 2, a little bit before, but this also kind of gives us more info on what's going on with the oldest house from Control, and also kind of sets the stage potentially for a possible Control 2. All right, let's go.
1970, 76, 8. Last one was in 2010. It's not exactly clockwork, but this town sees way more altered world events than most.
Tell me about it.
We knew it was just a matter of time before the lake acted up again. After the AWE in 2010, the FBC's research department set up a facility.
2010. They're talking about the
Lake
first
House.
Alan Wake.
To study the threshold in Cauldron Lake. Find better ways to contain the entity inside. Your tax dollars at work. When we detected a spike in paranatural activity at Cauldron Lake, before I even knew you were on this case, Saga, the lake house was my first stop.
Well, this either takes place before
Hope they could
or
spare some help, maybe give us some intel on the situation.
or early into Alan Wake
Wait,
2.
any clue what was waiting for us in there, Saga? I'd have just kept on driving.
I know it's been a while since we've done the main game, but you may remember Agent Estevez as the FBC agent we ran
Agent
into.
Kieran Estevez responding to an AWE alert in the vicinity. I need to speak with the Marmons.
At the police station in Bright Falls.
So much for the welcome wagon.
She helped us fight Scratch along with Casey and
You all set up the perimeter. We're on the threshold's doorstep, so keep your eyes peeled.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
the old gods. She helped. She joined us and with the old gods in that fight against Scratch on the lakeshore. She was up on the hill with Casey throwing us ammo and shit, and yeah. Anyways, we are not going to get through this whole DLC in one episode because it's about 2 hours long, but we will probably get through it in 2 or 3 episodes, depending on how much I take too long. Okay, let's just...
Agent Kieran Estevez, requesting entry. I don't have time for this.
I suppose we should use our shortcut, aka ID badge. There we go.
This shouldn't take long, okay? You see anything? Radio me.
Roger that.
All right. Here we go, off into the wild. Here we
The
go.
lake
Da-da.
house was run by the research department. Research and investigations don't really see eye to eye. What they call science, I call a violation of Bureau protocol and human decency.
Yeah,
Classic interdepartmental drama, your FBI saga, you know how it goes. Now, in
true.
retrospect, my low opinion of the research department may have clouded my judgment.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've played Control and we've seen the things that the research department has been up to, so you're right to be skeptical. They don't know the meaning of the word ethics around there. Most of the employees at the oldest house are expendable uh, experiments in their eyes. All in the name of science.
Hello?
But you
Agent
know what?
Kieran Estevez, Investigations Department.
Let's be real here. That is kind of how science works, isn't it? To a degree.
No one wants to check the individual carrying a firearm into a restricted government facility? No? Okay, well, it was definitely going in the report.
But that is kind of how science works, isn't it? When you really think about it, science is a lot of trial and error, and a lot of the things that we know, like how do we know, how painful it is for someone to burn alive? Well, that's because it's happened, and they took notes. You know what I mean? Like someone had to die, someone had to go through some horrifying shit for us to know everything we know today, which kind of sucks when you think about it. But
Hello, and welcome to another exciting day here at the Lake House. As I'm sure you know, I am Dr. Jules Marmont, and this is my wife.
Dr. Diana Marmont.
And together we are the heads of research at this facility.
great synchronicity, guys.
We want to thank you all for helping us break new ground in our study of Cauldron Lake.
That's right, Jules. But don't let our exciting work in threshold regulation and dimensional coupling keep you from observing the proper safety protocols.
You said it, Diana. We run a tight ship here at the Lake House. So, always remember the 3 S's: safety, security, and censorship.
It's a C. It's a C.
Why, yeah, that is the joke, Diana.
Well, it's a stupid fuck.
Wonderful joke, Jules. We'll see you down there.
She replaced her voice. They replaced her voice in the
Ah,
video.
that seems healthy.
Yeah, don't they just have a great relationship? Couple goals, am I right? Like the idiots who think Harley and Joker are how relationships should be. Newsflash, no, that's bad. All right, let's read some documents. Urgent reminder, lake safety protocols. Please remember that the following recreational activities are forbidden in the waters of Cauldron Lake. These restrictions apply both to civilians and FBC employees. Fishing, redacted. Swimming, boating, using the water for redacted purposes. Water skiing, redacted in the water. Paddle birding. These activities can result in redacted and an estimated redacted percent of cases. If you are unclear about any of the restrictions listed above, please speak with redacted. Yep, they're doing that shit again. But you notice how the way we read the notes, though, are the same as in the core game of Alan Wake 2? So when we played Control, there was an Alan Wake DLC. When we played that DLC, it felt like we were playing an Alan Wake game with control mechanics, because we were using psychic powers to lift up lights and fight shadows, and it was in the oldest house. Well, this DLC feels like we're playing Control, but with Alan Wake mechanics, because we're in a bureau location. Everything looks and feels like it did in Control, but the gameplay is still Alan Wake 2 gameplay. You know, love how it all ties together nicely. All right. Background. A recent security operation was performed among the citizens of Bright Falls and Watery. The goal of this operation was to ascertain public knowledge and opinion of the lake house and its operations. The following information was gained through covert listening and informal questioning. The local public appeared to view the area around the lake house with fear. This is, of course, the intended reaction, as the Bureau has publicly marked the area as dangerous due to volcanic gases, keeping people away. However, there is a specific rumor among the public regarding a government facility in the woods run by mad scientists taking people for experimentation. This rumor seems particularly popular among the local youth. Yeah, it sounds like Stranger Things. And its proximity to the truth is cause for concern. Worst case outcome would be an increase in curiosity or possibly even aggression. It is possible that this is the reason for the lake house's security breach back in Redacted. Action to be taken. Security personnel will continue to monitor youth chatter. If the rumors continue, disseminating a cover story may be required. I'm not sure if I read that right. Perhaps even fabricated signage for an American Volcano Commission type institution. Yes. Cover our tracks so people don't know the truth about the spooky shit, is what they're saying. Even though, as Estevez already said, Bright Falls is like ground zero for altered world events in this universe. So it's where Night Springs was created. No, wait, Night Springs was created at the FBC, but it has ties to Bright Falls, that's for sure. Let's see. Update to all staff. On-site observation teams report that the oldest house is still under active lockdown. Status of Director Trench, management team, and all other personnel inside the oldest house at the time of the lockdown's initialization seems unknown. Observation teams have detected fluctuations in the redacted field originating from the oldest house as of redacted, increasing in strength as it loops through a specific pattern every redacted hours. These readings are currently being analyzed by research staff in the Boston office. Any personnel with information pertaining to the signal should contact them immediately. So this DLC that we're playing right now takes place in 2023. So, and this letter was written in 2023. But it was written, as you can tell by the date, July 14th. It was written before the events of Alan Wake 2, because Alan Wake 2 canonically takes place during the time it came out last year, which is in the fall. So this is during the summer. So, yeah, this note was written beforehand. That being said, though, what this says, because the oldest house is the name of the building that the entire game of Control takes place in. Federal Bureau of Control is the name of the government agency themselves, you know, like the FBI, basically. But the particular building we were in the first Control game was called the oldest house. That's what it's called. And this note is basically saying, because they set up this facility right here after the events of the first Alan Wake. So this building has been around since at least 2011. So there's been people working here that whole time, cut off from the oldest house. So when the events of Control happened, the oldest house went into lockdown in order to contain the hiss inside the building so they wouldn't get out into the real world. And nobody here at this facility or any other facility outside the oldest house knows what's going on there. The oldest house is FBC HQ. It's the headquarters for them. And this is just another research facility. They have research facilities all over the place.
That's handy.
Um,
An experiment. That bodes well.
and the lake house is just one of them. But no one at any research facility right now has any idea what's happening at the oldest house at headquarters. The Lake House Daily, good news. HQ still dark. How's that good news? Pie was good. We have coffee. Deerfest this week. Bad news. HQ still dark. Nut allergy bad. No beer. The artist is eligible. Someone stole the black whiteboard marker. All vacation time canceled. Okay. I don't think we need to read everything. It's not all important, but I will read the important stuff. Anyways, we need to use this elevator, but we need a key card to use it. And in order to get that key card, we're gonna have to come in here first because the room we
Dr.
need for
Marmont's not here.
the room we need for the key card is locked.
Nobody is? I'll have to check downstairs.
All right, we need to get on this computer, but we don't know the code. I'll show you how we figure out the code here in a second. Let's see. Research profile, subject P. Ooh, who's subject P? Through extensive testing, the subject has been confirmed to possess an intrinsic paranatural ability that manifests exclusively during the act of painting. The paintings feature scenes or events he would have no knowledge of, even sometimes painting an event before it occurs.
They must all be working on the lower levels.
Yeah, shut up, I'm
I
reading.
need to head down.
This effect has been proven multiple times and has an estimated 40 to 100% success rate. Note the lack of precision in this range is due to the team's inability to prove that a painting's content will not be realized at some point in the eventual future. Researchers asked to reiterate their hesitance to publish any concrete statements surrounding the subject and his ability at this time, as the nature of the paintings and their paranatural effect have been exceptionally difficult to measure and quantify. Conclusion: the subject is suspected to be a Class 2 para-utilitarian, though additional testing will be required to confirm this. At this time, his ability is not believed to be a direct threat to himself or others and can be controlled. The nature of his ability to show current or future events via the art he creates, but the extent of this forecasting cannot be determined by researchers with any high level of precision. Unlike the art created by Alan Wake, there is no evidence the subject's art is directly manipulating reality via the shadow's energies. No, not yet anyway. Replacement keycard questions, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know where the keycard is. Okay. Here we go.
Changing passwords, huh?
Update computer password reset policy. As of September 13th, all computer passwords must be reset daily to address security concerns, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so anyways, here's the important part. We recommend using a permanent set of digits as the beginning of the password, followed by numbers that change daily. So do not use birthdays, the current date, phone numbers, etc. Passwords are only 6 digits. So we have to find 2 different sets of numbers, and the first one is actually over here. If you look on the certificate, we have where is it? Here we go. The founding of the facility on July 18th. So that's our first date, is July 18th. However, because British dates are written backwards, the first numbers are actually going to be 1807, 1807, not 718, 187. And then for the rest of the numbers for this computer, we just have to look here. Now, obviously, we can't use the date because the thing said not to use dates, but there is, if you look at the bottom, a number here that's highlighted, which is the number 38. It's from a science fact of the day about Hedy Lamarr, who invented in her free time. She patented a frequency hopping device for torpedo guidance systems at the age of 38. So the answer to get into this computer is 180738. All right. That unlocks the door we need. And let's see, if we start from the bottom here, we'll see. Good morning. A friendly reminder that proposed annual budgets need to be sent out by the end of this month. Every station is being asked to give a thorough breakdown this year in an effort to find areas where spending can be reduced. I think I'm going to try to paraphrase most of these to help save time. So, the lady Marmont, Diana, I think her name is. There's Jules and Diana. Yeah, Diana says she's too busy for meetings and used the budget from last year and blah, blah, blah. And Jules says, I apologize for my wife being difficult. I would be happy to meet and discuss the budget. And she replies, go fuck yourself, Jules. And, Kingston's like, all right, how about next Wednesday? A message from P. Levine that says Project Abertus has officially requested we return the pages. We aren't using them for work anymore. Let's see. Security reminder about leaving your computers locked because passwords are pointless if you leave them open. All right. Let me skim through all that. I'll actually read the important stuff, but I'm going to skim through other shit like that, emails and stuff. All right. Here's our
This should come in handy.
key card. Also, any videos that we watch in this, I just have to get as close to the screen as possible and hope for the best, because there's not any way, in Control, it doesn't save the videos you found, so you can open them up in your menu and watch them. It doesn't do that in this DLC. Alright. So we're going to take it one floor at a time, because there's stuff everywhere. And I think the elevator...
As soon as I got in that elevator, my bad news detector started going nuts.
Well, and I think it automatically...
Vesta team, something's going on in the lake house. I want all nearby agents to push.
I think it automatically stops at slub level 1 anyways. Like, no matter what button you press, it stops here, I think.
Agent Estevez, what's your status?
Not great.
Breach detected on sublevel 5. Staff should seek shelter immediately.
We have a situation in the lake house. All agents converge on the facility now. Belay that order. Shit.
Well, that's a lot of
A
paint.
threshold event had hit the lake house. Now, it was the Marmont's problem. Our mission was outside.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but didn't that note that we read upstairs say something about a para-utilitarian with paint powers?
What the fuck was that?
I think it did. Indeed, I would say it did. So that's what we're dealing with in this DLC. There is a
I need to
para-utilitarian,
get back to the elevator.
you know, like Jesse or Alan or Dylan or the old gods, but this one, he an angry para-utilitarian who not so in control of his powers. He's very bad news bears, if you will. And so that's a problem for us. Oh, hey, Dr. Darling.
Dr. Darling?
Huh.
Okay. Priority 1, get the lights on. Standing around in the dark near Cauldron Lake, they're not smart?
Yeah, tell me about it. You know, because of shadow monsters and shit. All right, what do we got here? Threshold linking experiment progress report. The work to create a stable link between our reality and that of the redacted continues. Progress is good, with all teams reporting high confidence that a successful connection will soon be possible. Recent efforts in utilizing the paintings produced by Subject P to adjust reality in such a way that achieves our goals were unsuccessful. However, this result allowed us to discard that avenue of research and focus solely on a much more viable one. Our new hypothesis states that the threshold's energies, and thus its reality-altering effect, are drawn to pieces of art that contain significant levels of emotion. This is supported by a clear trend in the data we have gathered over the years. If we can identify and quantify the emotion of an art piece, our work will speed up considerably. Work has already proceeded with an immediate focus on developing devices capable of measuring the level of emotion in any given piece of art. For now, our research will continue to focus solely on the art produced by Subject P. While no pieces of his have yielded successful results outside of their assistance in discovering the redacted pages, his proven status as a para-utilitarian makes his work the most suitable research material. As the lake house continues to make progress towards its goal, various avenues of research are being pursued. Recently, one such avenue has yielded unexpected results. The research into nursery rhymes, directed by Dr. and Dr. Marmont and led by Dr. Campbell, as an art form, has shown viability in its ability to connect with the Cauldron Lake threshold. As a result, the nursery rhyme findings will now be carried forward by the co-heads of research and incorporated into ongoing research across the lake house, effective immediately. Research teams will be briefed on how to utilize the effective elements of the nursery rhymes into their own work. Note: Dr. Campbell and his team are being reassigned. They will continue to develop their work on nursery rhymes outside the lake house. Any exposure risks related to performing confidential work outside the facility's premises have been acknowledged and accepted by the co-heads of research. So you remember how in the, I think it was the final draft addition to the story, I showed you what happens if you find all the nursery rhymes and something happens to Dr. Campbell and all that. Anyways, now you know how all that shit started. It was research that they were doing here at the lake house. The nursery rhymes was just yet another experiment of the FBC, which we already knew that, but now you have context. Okay.
Okay. Power core receiver. Plugging a core in should get the lights on.
And you can see where the core is because of the red light all the way over yonder way.
That is not a regulation FBC weapon.
Oh, that one right there? Yeah, no, that's called a Blackrock gun. You may remember Blackrock as that special material that they found by mining into the bottom of the oldest house. And it's also the stuff that they use to contain paranatural objects in their
Can't open it from the side.
in their prison in there.
Jules's keycard. Could be useful.
Jules's keycard went missing. I now have level 3 clearance in my office plus a lot of Blackrock. Blah blah blah. All right, yeah, all that's telling us is we need a keycard. I know where it is now.
I wish they'd make these things lighter.
But you'll see what I mean, though. This DLC really is like Control, even in the sense that there are some doors we can't get into when we first see
The
them,
way I
and we
saw it, there was only one way out. Identify the source of the event and contain or eliminate it. Now, good news, I just had to keep going down.
have to
Bad
come.
news, the elevator liked to disappear.
We have to come back to them later. Oh, by the way, before I forget, I'm switching this to story difficulty for the sake of replay. I already beat it on normal. See, look. Oh, it doesn't tell you. But this was, where is it? See, it took me almost 2 hours to beat it when I played it last time. But I beat it on normal already, and there are some parts that were really hard. So I don't want to do that again. Since this is a replay, we're playing it on story to get through it faster. Anyways, though, man, I miss when I could just lift these with telekinesis, you know what I mean? Gotta actually carry them now like a peasant. Like someone who doesn't have superpowers. Okay.
The elevator's back.
Yeah, but I don't like all this paint, and you'll understand why in a minute. Oh, look, a safe zone. Now that the lights are on, and our game-saving coffee thermos. Might as well just save this in the second slot while we're here. I didn't manage to get all the trophies for this DLC, though. Nope. Not yet, anyway. All right. So this computer's already on. There's a Pi Day celebration. Let's see. There's somebody complaining about people bringing nuts into the office because they're allergic to them. Here's a response about the pages from before. Don't release them. Tell Dina and those fools on Project Arbus that we misplaced them. An unfortunate filing accident. And then, of course, some Blackrock has gone missing from sub-level 5. And probably for the person who took it to use for the gun. Okay, now we can watch this video.
First off, a huge thank you to everyone here. The Lake House has made amazing strides in researching the AWE here at Cauldron Lake. Great work, team. I wanted to come in person so I could check in on the latest work. I won't get in the way. It's not our view, so no reason to be scared. Do you hear that, Doctors Marmot? While I'm here, I want to focus on the relationship between the Shadow and the AWE site below the lake. The theory that the Shadow even originates from the dimension this threshold is tapping into is compelling. Eventually, I want to understand how this dimension manages to convert subjective elements like art into objective reality. What are the constraints of this phenomenon? Can it, say, create altered items or even objects of power simply by manifesting them via a piece of art? These are the things we need to know to accurately classify the Shadow. I mean, that name is not very scientific. I mean, who came up with that? Shadow. So, any and all proposals are welcome. Anything testing art's effect on reality by using the Shadow's energy is preferred. To find answers, we'll first need a lot of data. No wrong answers. And when I return to the oldest house, I'll take back anything we end up with to run against a classified project called Hedron to build a comparative data set. I wish I could tell you more. It's a very, very exciting non-physical forces impacting. No, sorry, I really can't. It is. You know what? Maybe some of you can come visit. We'll have to get you clearance, of course, but maybe that can. You know what? I don't want to take the entire day talking. So, the shadow represents a whole new area of research, and I couldn't be more excited to start digging in. It is a great new world, people.
If that video looked familiar, it's because we did see it once before. Remember, I edited it into the final draft episode of the game that I did for the core game replay, and I did mention that it was a hacked file from the game that potentially came from this DLC, and I was right. It was from this DLC. All right. Now we need to go through that freshly opened pathway. Things are not going to be easy for us though. There'll be another video playing here later, I think. I thought it would be now, but there's a message from Dr. Dr. Marmont Jules specifically. Okay. God, I am not ready for this.
If you can understand me, I am an agent of the Federal Bureau of Control. Fucking works.
Well, fuck. I knew this was coming, but I still didn't want it. You can't kill these things right now. And did you see how creepy they are? They're paint monsters.
What the fuck were those things?
Paint monsters. Being controlled by the para-utilitarian with paint powers. Not hostile my ass. Anyways. Let's visit the second floor. Also, yeah, you may have noticed the elevator. Why did we go this way? Because the elevator's here. See, this is a threshold event, so the elevator moves. Every time we come to a new floor, we get off the elevator, turn around, and the elevator's not there anymore. And we gotta find it somewhere else.
Okay, deep breaths. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You never really get used to the shit you see in this job, but you can learn techniques to adjust, to function. Take 6 deep breaths, then get to work. Find the source, collapse the threshold.
Yeah, we'll just... Yeah, we'll just pop a couple copium pills, it's fine. Well, what is that, a living painting? That doesn't look good.
If you can understand me, I'm an agent of the Federal Bureau of Control. I can assist you if you take no hostile action against me or any action that can be perceived as hostile. Do you understand?
It speaks English.
Well, I'll be damned. So what kind of entity are you? You can speak. That means you probably imprinted on a person or retained some of your former self's information. Previously human, maybe? Okay, I can work with that. I just had an unpleasant encounter with some other painted individuals. Any relation?
1,000 painting shoes crowed.
What does that mean?
Paint No brush a self-portrait!
Okay, hey, calm down.
Fire in his eyes and hands and bones!
You need to cease all hostility right now. Bad news? That thing is really pissed off. Good news. It didn't try to kill me.
Huh. The silver
Baby
lining.
steps.
Small victories, am I right? Well, that could have gone better.
Angry living paintings are not typically on the Cauldron Lake bingo card. Something different was happening at the lake house, and I couldn't let it escape. Bright Falls didn't need this particular cherry on its already shitty sundae.
Yeah, no shit. I would have been moved. I would have moved out of Bright Falls a long time ago, but you know, according to the records at the oldest house, it really doesn't matter where the hell you live in this universe. Some crazy shit's gonna happen everywhere. You're just fucked regardless. Okay. Knockety knock knock. I'm gonna do a little snoopalating. Excusez-moi. Refinement process. The automated typing device, ATD, will produce writing mimicking that of Alan Wake, known para-utilitarian, with the goal of affecting reality with the same consistency as Mr. Wake's writing. To research this level of authenticity, each page produced by the ATDs must be evaluated and graded based on its similarity to Wake's original style. The pages will be graded using the following criteria. Comprehensibility. This is the most basic of criteria. The page must use language and develop stories in an understandable, organic way. Style, accurately mimic the style of Wake's writing. Tone, accurately mimic the tone of Wake's writing. Content, accurately mimic the typical content of Wake's writing. Once pages are graded, they will be fed into the algorithm as preferred reference material, thus continuously refining the writing produced by the ATDs until they can produce near identical stories to Alan Wake. Once that is achieved, we will provide instructions to the ATD on what to write, effectively gaining control of Wake's ability to link with the Shadow's power. So, they designed a bunch of machines to automatically write a bunch of, to basically plagiarize Alan Wake's stories so that they could use those stories, since his stories have power, they could use those stories to link with the shadow and, I guess, I don't know, take its power, experiment with it, whatever. Basically, though, that yeah, they were trying to plagiarize Alan Wake's writing style using machines in order to mimic his powers and connection to the shadow. Now, I could be crazy, but to me, that sounds like a pretty on the nose metaphor for AI produced content compared to stuff made by real artists. You know, uh, yeah, that's what that sounds like to me. Okay. Organizational update. Moving forward, research at the lake house will be divided into two distinct projects. Project X10 or X132AW, code named Abertus, will focus on studying the writing of Redacted with Dr. Dina Marmont serving as project director. Project, the other one, codename Romnus, will focus on studying Redacted in his work with Dr. Jules Marmont serving as project director. Staff will soon be notified regarding their project assignment and any required desk changes. Your patience is requested during this reorganization. This is a confidential facility matter and is not to be discussed with external agents or teams. If you have questions, please contact me directly. Oh, and okay, and also we're gonna play this tape. Now, I apologize in advance. These tape recorder tapes, the volume on them is really low for some reason, so I highly recommend just paying attention to the subtitles. I can't do anything about it because I'm recording this directly on the PS5 with no editing, so I can't like enhance the audio or anything for you. It is what it is. I'm sorry. Just pay attention.
September 12, 2023.
Notes regarding a page of an Alan Wake manuscript I found in the archives. I checked the records, and this page is not in our inventory. I believe it manifested inside the lake house directly. I won't be filing this page. It'll just send Jules into a panic. The page is written in Wake's usual style, so I can't say for certain if it's being literal or figurative when it calls us monsters. But what's interesting is that the page indicates that a painting succeeded in linking Cauldron Lake's threshold with our facility. Writing has always been the clearly superior avenue of research, but I never considered that the writing itself would dictate a different art form as the catalyst for our success. I cannot accept that. I can't allow Jules to stumble his way into success. Not after the years of work I put into this research. I got word yesterday that 2 writers are visiting Bright Falls. I will beat Jules to the finish line.
And I think that might be referencing those true crime writers. Remember when we visited the hotel in Bright Falls and there was we went into the rooms of those true crime writers and they went missing? I think this is what happened. I don't think they were taken by the Taken. I think they were abducted by the FBC. Now, these notes right here are the ones that she was talking about that were actually written by Alan himself. So I'm not going to have to read these because, surprise, the man himself wrote these, so he's going to read them for us.
Rudolph Lane stood back from the canvas. He didn't recognize the piece. Did he paint this? His mind was foggy, unfocused. He knew the Marmonts were putting something in his food. A man in a white coat came to steer Lane back to his cell. He did not resist. He was too tired. He lay on the bed, but the stench in his cell wouldn't let him sleep. An acid stink. The turpentine, the paint, it was all over him. Years of it. 1,000 paintings. 1,000 more to come. A putrid weight he could never wash away. Cold hate simmered below the mist clogging his thoughts. Hatred for the paint. Hatred for the brushes. For the Marmonts. For himself.
Let's see. Just notes on it. And another one.
Diana and Jules Marmont had once been a team. Rising stars in the Bureau, both talented in their own way. Diana innovated and Jules got funding from the bureaucrats. Cooperation led to respect. Connection. Then after a decade of hard work, the happy couple were promoted. Co-heads of research. Their first years at the lake house were good. Challenging, but not insurmountable. Not for them. Gradually, thoughts fell into their heads like drops of dark water. Why does she get all the credit? Why does he get any credit? With that, a crack formed in the lake house. The Marmonts and their work became arrogant, erratic. The crack widened and the water seeped in.
I think the crack and water thing is a metaphor, by the way, because clearly this place isn't flooded. But that'll all start to come together later.
There was a crack in the lake house. The Marmonts had let the lake in, but the water could not flow. It became trapped, stagnant, went bad. The truth was controlled here. The art was not art, just content for the experiment.
And that video just plays on a loop over and over again, which is fitting because we're about to get stuck in a loop in a minute.
There was a crack in the lake house.
Let me read this,
the
though.
Marmonts had let the lake in,
Let's see.
but the water
Project
could not
Abertus,
flow.
that yada yada yada.
It became trapped, stagnant, went bad.
Okay.
The truth was controlled
Edward
here.
Franklin
The
Booker,
art was not
married
art,
to Tamitha
just
Booker, no
content
known
for the
children,
experiment.
no paracriminal affiliations, located in Bright Falls, writer and director of 5 stage plays, unsuccessful, confirmed artist, designation author, playwright. Okay.
There was a crack in the lake house. The Marmonts had let
Tamitha
the lake
Madison
in, but the
Booker,
water could
let's
not
see,
flow.
married to Edward
It became
Franklin, let's
trapped,
see, no
stagnant,
paracriminal
went bad.
affiliations, located
The
in Bright
truth was
Falls,
controlled here. The art was
author
not
of 3
art,
commercially
just
successful true
content in
crime
the
books. First
experiment.
publication was a poetry collection, unsuccessful. So yeah, that is the couple from the hotel in the main game that they're talking about in those files. They looked into them. Some of these safe rooms have provisions and some of them don't.
The truth was controlled here.
Typewriters. Please don't let this be what I think it is.
Yep,
As
those.
you know by now, typewriters and Cauldron Lake do not mix. And a
Yep.
room full of them all clacking away. 100% bad news.
That's the ATDs they were talking about. A room full of typewriters connected to these machines that are doing all the typing for them. Just a room full of clackety clack clack clacks, just clackety clacking away. All the clacking day long. Mother clackers. Okay, I'm done. There's usually, this is usually where there be items. I don't see no. Oh, there's the document, though. Progress report, typewriter brand investigation, investigation of the precise brand and model of the typewriter, yada yada. So they were researching which type of, exactly which brand of typewriter Alan Wake used so that they could replicate it correctly, but everyone they reached out to, including Alice and Barry, refused to talk to them. Oh, wait a minute. What's this say? The relevant team will continue to explore alternative sources of information. The ATDs will continue to be operated with the available typewriters until Wake's preferred brand is known. Theoretically, replicating Alan Wake's style of writing via the same brand of typewriter used by the author should yield optimal results. The project director has indicated that a similar investigation should be launched into the brand and type of ink used in the typewriter as well. They really want to be thorough, don't they? Alright, so here we are in a space full of doors that we can't get into. Because we don't have level 2 security clearance yet. No, sorry, Boba Fett. Not yet, we don't. There are a couple rooms in here we can get into, though. But only a couple. Project Abertus research notes, content of Wake manuscript. We've begun to find pages from a manuscript very likely written by Alan Wake, utilitarian and suspect in past cases involving the Cauldron Lake AWE. Though I do not like to bring myself or my biases into my work, I must do so here to address the matter being examined. As reference for any future readers, I am Dr. Diana Marmont, co-head of research at the Lake House facility. The page we recently found summarizes my life with Jules Marmont, husband and co-researcher. It has turned us into characters for its story, making generalizations and assumptions that I must attempt to evaluate without emotion or prejudice. The accuracy of the writing is intriguing. It reports our past in the Bureau, but also details inner thoughts that an outside recorder would have no way of knowing. Jules and I have indeed been having more and more interpersonal conflict this past year. This raises many questions. How does Wake, wherever he is writing this from, get his information? Or was the page itself determining these emotions and events? I cannot believe that the scope of Wake's ability goes so far as to have dedicated my entire career at the FBC, and if it did, would it matter? Even if a person knew their life was being driven by an external force, would it change their nature, their behavior, their personality? My disagreements with Jules are not sudden shifts in personality, but rather a growing resentment. I firmly believe that though I have no evidence to prove it, which brings me to a new research query for our team. What methodology can one use to prove that their actions, their mind, their love, or animosity are theirs to control? Oh boy, I didn't know we were getting into existentialism today. That's exactly what I need in my mid-30s. Alright, here's another tape you can barely hear.
March 7th, 2018. Notes regarding Dr. Emil Hartman, founder of the Cauldron Lake Lodge, where he manipulated artists in an attempt to control the power of the shadow. I've gone through his notes, which were confiscated by the Bureau after his arrest in 2010. Overall, Hartman's work was sloppy. Complete disregard for proper scientific method. But he was bold enough to try something we haven't. Our procedural writing machines are promising, but we could understand the effects of Cauldron Lake's threshold much better by observing live artists in action. Thanks to Hartman, we even have a list of prospects. Next step is to send Dr. Darling a request to bring some into the lake house for analysis.
Sounds good. I'll take a little what you got there. Yep. Ooh, a flashy bangy. Those can be used to stun the paint monsters, but that's all you can do is stun them. We can't actually kill the paint monsters until we have the Blackrock gun. Which is a bunch of ass, because there's fucking paint everywhere.
Shit.
And no, the shotgun...
No to extra firepower.
This shotgun won't work on them either. But also, the paint monsters aren't the only threat down here. You might be wondering to yourself, well, if the pistol and shotgun and your flashlight don't work on them, then why the hell do you have them? Well, you're familiar with Alan Wake. You tell me why we have them.
Back where I started. Spatial recurrence. Usually observes the law of 3.
This contrived overlap rebounded on itself, compressing, compounding, reflecting, and refracting. An urban legend and a murder in constant imbalance. Cause and effect hopelessly tangled. Arranged wrong, the dream logic flawed, the feedback loop doubled and redoubled out of control. The pressure kept building, looking for release. This contrived overlap.
Another looping video. But that's okay. Ooh, a flare. You shouldn't have. Actually, I'm going to manually save here. Because we're about to hit some fun. Well, that's not good. That's right. We gotta fight Taken in this DLC. I forgot how to quick turn in this.
Some staff down there had been corrupted. Shit just kept getting worse.
Poor staff. They all got corrupted-doodled. Well, that's not unlike what happened at the oldest house, isn't it? They all got corrupted by the hiss over there, and here they're all being corrupted by the darkness, by the shadow. Oh man. Anyways. You see that paint dripping right there? Off the wall? That means there's something there. And if I get too close to it, it'll pop out of the wall and grab me. I got jump scared by that a bunch. I don't even want to try to fuck with those sons of bitches until...
Loop 3. Should be the last one.
I keep coming back to this page. The author's clearly awake. It's like he's warning us. But about what? I mean, what does it mean? This page scared Jules away from the work on Wake's writing. The coward can't stand risk. Science is risk. For me, this is proof that we are going in the right direction. I just need Rudolph Lane's paintings to lead to more pages so that hopefully one day we can understand.
Hopefully one day. But today will not be that day.
This page. The author's clearly awake.
These are the same thing as they always are, right?
It's like he's warning us. But
okay.
About what? I mean, what does it mean? This page scared Jules away from the work on Wake's writing. Coward can't stand risk.
Okay. Grab the stuff in here. Oh, nothing in there. All right, we are going to go ahead and... We're going to go ahead and stop this episode here because I'm about running out of time. So, hopefully we finish this DLC in the next episode. It shouldn't take too much longer. I'll try to be a little bit faster about it. There's not too much I need to explain. I've already gotten most of the connection explanations out of the way. So in the next episode, we should just be able to just, focus on the current story happening instead of the wider universe for the most part. But let me know your thoughts on this DLC so far in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, remember to smash that like button. And as always, thank you all so much for watching, and I will catch you possibly on another day, definitely at another time, and likely in another video. Okay, goodbye.